How do everyone, and welcome back to Royville Reads. My name is Stefan. Sorry if my throat's a little rough. I just got done doing a play where I had to do a lot of yelling. Uh, but that being said, didn't get a lot of reading done this week, but I do have something that I've read many, many times. Actually, the play I was in. So, without further ado, here's my look at Arsenic and Old Lace by Joseph Kesselring. I actually, once again, was in the show. I played Teddy Brewster, and he thinks that he is Teddy Roosevelt. Hence why, now you know why I shaved the beard off and hello, Billy. Yes. So I played Teddy Brewster, but we're here because I've read this screenplay, or sorry, play. I really like this play. So it is the main characters, I would say, are the two aunts, Abby and Martha. And they decide that they're going to help old men out that are lonely, that don't have anyone left, by poisoning them with arsenic and then thereby killing them as a charity, and having their nephew, Teddy, bury them down in the cellar, which he thinks is Panama because he's down there building the Panama Canal, building the locks, digging the locks. Another nephew, Mortimer, finds this out. I would say he's probably the third main character. By far, I think he's the male lead. He finds out what's going on and thinks that it's Teddy because Teddy thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt. So obviously, if he's has some kind of mental issue, maybe he is also a killer. Well, he finds out that it's not Teddy, it's the ants, and they don't really have. There's one line in there where they're like, well, if anything would happen to us, we would just call the police because they really like us. And they don't consider the murder wrong because it's a charity they do for these lonely men. It's something, that it's a service that they provide. And then they always bury them in the cellar and they'll have funeral services if need. They're very nice about it. Well, obviously, Teddy freaks out about, or not, sorry, not Teddy. Mortimer freaks out about this. It's like, we've got to get Teddy. If I can blame this on Teddy, who's already crazy, we can send him to Happy Dale, is the name of the sanitarium, and then he will, then I can save you. Well, it's not bad idea. However, it kind of leaves Teddy out to dry. And then there's a third nephew, Jonathan, and he's actually the bad seed, the bad apple in the bushel. He is gone around, he's been killing people, he's a criminal. He travels with this doctor, Dr. Einstein, not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. I think Herman Einstein. And Herman Einstein, whenever they get into a really bad situation where the cops are on him, Herman Einstein, the doctor, will plastic surgery Jonathan Brewster's face into somebody else. And at this point, Herman Einstein was drunk the last time, and basically he looks like Boris Karloff. And so that's kind of a running gag through the play. This is also set just before, I think, World War II. Abby has a line where she says she doesn't think that Hitler is a good Christian, which got a lot of laughs in our show. And then by hook or crook, police get involved. The police are also kind of characters in and of themselves. Mortimer has a fiance that he's trying to keep everything away from so that she doesn't find out. And it is just one of those kind of dark comedy plays that honestly are really popular, I think. I mean, just the murder mystery, Agatha Christie, and all that, all those. There are a number of like Clue, I think I would consider a dark comedy about murder. This is obviously a dark comedy about murder. So since I'm also talking about the book and I was in the show, I want to say that I did not really, like, I read it a few times. I obviously read my part quite a bit, and I never realized how funny, like, every character is. Every character, Joseph Kesselring has a very good grasp of all of the characters to make them funny. I think every character from the aunts, Mortimer, Jonathan, Teddy, down to the cops that have like the littlest amount of lines, and Elaine, who is the love interest of Mortimer. Everybody has good lines and has funny lines that really tickle the audience. I highly recommend this play. I think just reading it, even just reading it, honestly, I think you'll get the comedy out of it. Seeing it, seeing a good production of it, you'll even get more. But that being said, I don't really read plays to read plays. The only time I ever read plays is when I'm in them. And I honestly think, doing this review, it would be interesting to pick up a play that I don't know anything about, I'm not auditioning for or anything, and just read it for enjoyment. Read it to kind of analyze how they do things as opposed to a regular novel. Read it to see if I think it's funny, just reading it, or if the actual enjoyment and the real comedy comes out of the actors doing their part to bring the play to life. I do find things funny when I read them. I do find plays funny when I read them, but is it the actors bringing out the comedy, or is it the writing? Now, I will say, without the writing, the actors have nothing to work with. And this is a prime example of it. I am marveled at how Joseph Kesselring is able to write every character with their own spark, with their own grabbing moments for the audience. And I highly recommend picking up Arsenic and Old Lace. I highly recommend going to see it if you see somebody, if you see a drama crew or production theater troupe doing it. It is a very funny play. I think you will get a lot of enjoyment out of it. However, I also think you should try just reading it. Try just picking, not just Arsenic and Old Lace. Try finding a play, maybe that you like, maybe that you are interested in, and just reading it and see if you enjoy it that way. See if you can picture maybe what it would look like on a stage. So, yeah. So, until next time, it's Arsenic and Old Lace. Strong recommend. And first of all, keep reading. But second of all, charge!